Okay, welcome back, everyone. This is Enda here, and this is the bullwaves.org weekend update. It's Friday, the 26th of November, and wow, didn't November disappear quickly? Okay, so things are getting interesting today. It's been a quiet couple of weeks, but I think things may be shifting. There seems to be kind of some sand shifting under under the current counts right now. Okay, so right, let's just get into it. We'll start with the dollar crosses, and I'll give you my 2 cents on where we are right now. Okay, so this is I'll go to the 4-hour count here. This is the count for euro dollar, and ABC down in wave D of a triangle, and expecting ABC up in wave E of a triangle. I expect this wave E to hit somewhere around 120. So we got about, 700-800 points. It looks like we've got a couple of shelves there to look at first. This previous fourth wave here looks like probably where wave A will go to. But we'll, as this thing goes, we deal with it as it happens. But anyway, so we've got 3 waves higher to expect over the coming weeks. Well, I'm going to move my mic here. Okay. Now we've got 3 waves up to expect over the coming weeks. It looks like we're making another attempt anyway today to begin this 3-wave rally. Interestingly enough, the 162% extension of wave A from the wave B high seems to have caused some sort of a reaction. So we've hit that 112 level, and we seem to have bounced off that so far. So let's see if that materializes into at least a 3-wave pattern higher. And I'm looking at that previous 4th wave as the initial move, let's say, for wave A. So we're looking about 117. At the moment, we've got, it's hard to know exactly how this wave A is going to, unfold. Is it going to be a 5-wave pattern? Is it going to be a 3-wave pattern? Is it going to be a complex 3? Is it going to be, there's so many myriad of possibilities. At the moment, I'm gonna stick with the idea that we're getting at least 5. Well, a possible 5-waves pattern higher to kind of let's say shift the momentum off the low and back towards a rally again. If we get 5 waves up, I think today should be enough to complete that. It's very early. The futures aren't even open in the US. But the overnight trade was a nice spike higher. So we could be tracing out 5 waves up now, with wave 3 maybe coming in pretty soon. If we get 5 waves up by, let's say, Monday, in either an A wave or a 1 wave, then that will definitely point towards a bottoming process in play, and a rally maybe in wave E. So next week it's the same. This decline in euro dollar has gone on long enough. I think it's time for a reversal. I think it's going to be 3 waves. I think it's going to be, a couple of month affair. In wave E, we complete a triangle, and then we move lower, longer term in euro dollar. Okay, let's move on. This is cable. I've kind of adjusted I think it's still a wave 1 down that we've done over the last while. I've adjusted the internal count here. So it seems, it may be a more reasonable fit for what's happened this week. I was calling this a B wave down as an expanded flat. Still possible that's, the wave 1 low was here, and we have an A, B, C pattern in wave 2. Still expecting that wave 2 pattern. Whether this is a B wave low or whether, we're about to begin wave C up, I don't know. Suffice to say, I think the target area for this next step higher, for this higher low to build in wave 2, lower high to build in wave 2, would be between 135 and 136. So two previous 4th waves will be I think a reasonable target. So I think next week we'll see a rally. It'll be a 3-wave rally. It'll be a second wave. We should at least at the very upper end, we should complete below 138, and with a likely target around 136. So let's look for 3 waves up in wave 2 for cable. Okay, dollar yen. Was looking for this wave C down to begin over the last couple of weeks, but we got this grind higher into a head and shoulders pattern, and it looks like today we have finally reversed, and we should be heading lower into wave C. We've got like a couple of reasonable targets between initially 109. If we hit that 109 area, well, if we do break 109, I think we'll probably go down to 107.50 or 107. We'll break that wave A low, so we'll probably hit 107.40 or so in wave C, and it'll be a 5-wave decline, and it'll complete an ABC pattern, expanded flat correction wave 2. The alternate would be the possibility that wave 2 is in, let's say, as a complex C wave here, maybe a triangle C wave. So it'll be a WXY wave Y completed as a triangle rather than what you might expect, and then we have a 1-2 pattern here. So this 1-2 would still suggest that we hit about 110 as a reasonable alternate. For the moment, I think the overnight action is enough to signal that we are finally turning here into at least a correction down to 110, possibly down as far as 107.40. So I'll keep an eye out on that one. Okay, so let's move on. The stock market. Okay, I was allowing for a possible 4th wave, but the the overnight trade, the futures just crashed. So it doesn't mean that this rally is completely out of the question. I mean, it still could be a very extended 4th wave here. I was looking at this 34,490, so 34,500 level as a definite trigger point for the alternate count, which would be that wave 5 is already done. It's a definite maybe on this one. As I was saying during the week, I'm not one to turn away from a bearish account, and we had a good look at that during the week. I still identified that 34,500 level as a reasonable trigger point for this alternate count. Maybe it's already in. Maybe there's no point in even contemplating a continuation of this 4th wave and a rally into wave 5. Maybe we're already done. I'm not going to complain about that. It's very possible. And I'm going to go to the hourly count here, and I'll show you why and how that's possible. Okay, so if we take this this previous high here as the final high for wave 5 of 5, that would be here and here. Then working off, the short-term alternate is what I'm showing here. Working off that all-time high back early November, we possibly have a 1-2 in blue, and then we may have an expanded flat wave 2 in pink, and then an acceleration in a third of a third. So, if this keeps developing downwards, if we keep declining, if we keep taking out these previous highs, so we have a wave 1 high here at 34,970, and we punched through that this morning. We have that lower high here in wave 1 blue at 34,490. If we get that, if we tick that box, then things are really starting to favor my favorite direction for this market. It's been something that's definitely been brewing over the last while. Let's see if we actually get follow through this time. The previous declines were let's say labored, with possibilities, but labored. So if this set of declines turns out to be less labored and more impulsive, less corrective, let's say, and more impulsive, then we are definitely on for a major high here, and I know you hear me say that, but go read John Husband's latest report, and that'll give you kind of my background on where I think we stand. I'm pretty much in lockstep with him on let's say the valuation standpoint. But in terms of wave pattern, we are there with bells on. We have been there with bells on for the last few months, but all we've basically done is gone sideways for since call it May. We've basically just gone sideways since May. So it's a series of head and shoulder patterns. A series of head and shoulders patterns that could be developing to the downside now. Maybe we're about to get a reckoning for all this, mad speculation. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I'll move on to crude oil. The same situation here in crude oil. Gold. Actually, moving on to gold. We haven't ruled out our longer term alternate here. This alternate for wave B in red has not been ruled out. I'm afraid to say, but we haven't. We're in a limbo point at the moment. We haven't either confirmed nor denied the bullish count, or confirmed or denied the bearish alternate here. So I'm pretty willing to just kind of stand on this one for the moment and wait for the pattern to develop. I was pointing out this 1758 low during the week. That low comes in at wave C of 2. So if 1758 breaks, then we are in trouble, I think. Okay, so gold is kind of really, after this week's declines, gold is really not sitting pretty. I'm just going to call it limbo and a wait and see moment. If it passes this test, then if the bullish count passes this test, then it's probably all systems go for a third wave rally. So we'll see how that goes early next week. Okay, crude oil. We had a nice step lower in crude oil also today. Interesting. It doesn't fit the inflation narrative either. Granted, prices have gone up. That's for darn sure. I'm no fan of the Fed, but I do think that inflation will become yesterday's story once if this speculative stock market breaks down, it'll be deflation all over as asset prices kind of the air goes out of asset prices, and the zeros start disappearing from people's bank accounts and perceived worth or perceived let's say wealth that they have. Okay, so the possibility right now after today's decline is that we are moving towards moving away from this fourth wave low, moving towards a impulsive decline. Obviously, we've got some reasonable or very heavy supports coming in. Definitely 61.70. That's a long way down though. So the wave one high, 69.60. That would be a major hurdle to break. If we break below that, we may be saying kissing goodbye to that bull market in crude oil as well. Okay, so the count for this bearish count this morning, here's a possibility. So a possible wave one, an ABC expanded or running flat wave two, a decline, a pretty standard 5-wave decline in wave three, 3 waves up in wave 4, and a possible decline in wave 5 of 1. So this could be a series of 1-2s, or it's a full, impulse 5-wave down impulse pattern building. I'm not averse to the the extension idea in a third wave. I mean, today's acceleration lower does hint at a third wave decline, or a third of a third decline. We'll have to just see how the market reacts when it opens later on in a few hours' time. If we react with a nice spike higher, then we may well have to revert back to that fourth wave pattern. It'll be a very complex and over elaborate fourth wave, but the possibility for a rally to a new high will be still on the table. For the moment, this is what might fit the bill this morning, and I'm just going to let it work out. Let it work out and see. Obviously, if the stock market goes, crude oil is going to go as well. There's no doubt about that. Okay, here's the S&P. I was actually we were calling the recent high a top. We came up to fill that channel. We just pinged that channel there, and then the last couple of days have been pretty impulsive to the downside. So the idea now is to complete a solid 5-wave pattern lower. And that will hint more, let's say, it'll definitely favor this bearish count here. So on the 4-hour count, let's go back to the daily count even. Again, along with the Dow, we are as cooked as could be with this rally off the February 2020 lows. March 2020 lows. It's been, a year and, almost, 18, 19 months of pure upside. And, against my better judgment, I did not expect, the complete training wheels to come off and this thing to just blast to the moon. And so it has. Again, we've got the possibility of a complete pattern with the, let's say the higher up we go, the more tenuous this rally is, the harder we're going to fall eventually. So the idea now is, do we build a nice impulsive lower high? That'll be kind of a right shoulder around head and shoulders pattern high. That's what lies ahead of us over the next couple of weeks. If we go to the hourly count, we were looking at the possibility of a third wave decline. That seems to have come in this morning. It all depends now on the rally we get, if we get a rally on the open, or if we just get a complete dump once the open comes. If we do, I think that'll favor a third wave, and that will favor a wave 1 pattern down. So let's get that in there as we are talking. So that will favor a 5-wave pattern lower in wave 1, and if that happens, that will favor again that we are building a bearish case here. It's a long time coming. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we move on to silver. Silver has not ditched its let's say pretty favorable outlook at the moment. Anyway, it has not shed, let's say, that favorable pattern. It looks like we still have a 5-wave pattern higher, and now we are either completing a running flat wave 2 after this week's decline, or we will get an expanding flat, and we'll just break below that $23 level again to complete wave 2. That'll be A, B, C down wave 2. I'll show you that in the hourly chart now. You can see that wave 1 high, A, B, C. If we're complete at today's low, the early morning low 23.27, that'll be a running flat wave 2, and we should see 5 waves higher in wave 1 of 3 over the next couple of days. So we haven't. Now I'm going to caveat that with if gold goes, silver will go again. There's no doubt. If gold rallies, silver will rally. If gold goes and declines and triggers a bearish alternate count, then there's no real hope for silver breaking clear of it. So we'll just have to watch this one with eagle eyes early next week. Let's get to Bitcoin. I think we have 5 waves down, as I was suggesting last week and during the midweek video. I'm kind of allowing for a larger, let's say an expanded flat wave 2 pattern. So we did have a sell-off as well as the stock market. So, risk assets in general selling off today. So It all depends on what happens, obviously, again, when the US, when you guys over in the US wake up and get out of your beds and look at your computer screens. So we've got a possible A, B, and C pattern. So it's a pretty standard three-wave drop into wave B. If we get a rally back above, 59,900 again, that will suggest that this expanded flat pattern is on, and then next week we'd look for a decline into wave 3. Let's see. Wave 3 is not out of, let's say it's not off the cards either, because we could easily say that we have a running flat wave 2 already complete, and we are now beginning wave 3 down. So it's in the short term at least, it's looking sideways to up over the next couple of days, maybe even just today. But longer term, we're looking at a third wave down next week. So Bitcoin, watch out. Okay, so let's move on. Let's get a look at the Nasdaq. We've kind of drifted lower this morning. A possible 1-2 pattern again. We could easily say that we have wave 1 and 2 done. With 5 waves down, wave 1, expanded flat wave 2. Maybe we're moving down into a third wave this morning. Didn't sell as much as the S&P or the Dow, but again, it could be a wave 1 of 3. So it'll all depend on initially this previous fourth wave, so 15,900. If we break that previous fourth wave, then it looks like we're moving into a third wave down again. How about the FTSE? We had a nice impulsive move lower this morning in the FTSE. The bounce, as the trade has been open for almost 2.5 hours. The bounce that happened off the low has been pretty corrective looking so far. If we're not going to bounce early in the trade, it's not likely that we're going to do it towards the end of the trade. So the let's say the risk appetite may be turning in the UK also. So watch this one as let's say a leading indicator for where the trade might be turning over in the US also. So possible 1-2 pattern in place, and a significant acceleration lower this morning in a third wave. We have a previous fourth wave low here at 69.46. If we break that 69.46 and we complete 5 waves down, then I can say that with reasonable confidence that the top is in for FTSE as well. Okay, so that is it. Take a look at this chart. I always end with the good news of salvation. If you haven't considered, your eternal home, I would suggest that maybe you should. The markets again are turning. I myself have long held that this is like at least a generational, if not at least a generational top, if not a multi-century top. And if we do get that major shift into a depression, as I continually suggest that we will, then I think the most likely outcome is a real uptick on the war cycle and a real uptick on social strife cycle as well. So we are entering that, or we are midway through that fourth turning, as they say. So I would suggest that you might consider your eternal home. You can't face God. At the end of this, you cannot face God with holding out your own righteousness, because we are not righteous. We are not righteous. I know I'm not righteous. You know you're not. I'm not going to ask you your sins, but as long as you don't ask me mine. But Jesus has already taken care of it, If you want to be sure of where you're going to go, choose Jesus, because he's already sorted you out. He's dressed you in his righteousness if you accept him as your Messiah. And that is the gospel. It's nothing got to do with religion. It's nothing got to do with, priests in robes. It's nothing got to do with rabbis chanting and nodding. It's nothing got to do with imams, preaching from their pulpits. It's nothing got to do with that. It's just got to do with your relationship to God through the Messiah that he's already provided for you in his Son. And that's that. Okay? I'm giving you the good news and the bad news, as usual. Even hell, this is an even keel channel. God's blessings to you all. Have a great weekend. I'll see you website members tonight for the Friday night update, and back again on Monday. For everybody else, check out bullwhales.org and check out, even join the channel here. We do midweek updates as well. So have a good one. God bless. Bye-bye.